Hello loves, Saskia here. Today was day 2 of radiation. It's feels like a never-ending journey. I'm waiting for my next appointment. My physical therapist recommended that I had a sleeve made. They make this special sleeve for lymphedema to ensure, because I'm good now, but should swelling happen in the arm, the key is to catch it right away. So she wants me to have the sleeve so that should I notice any swelling in my arm, we can put it on and we can minimize it sticking around. And it just reminds the body how to flush out, how to reroute the fluids, and nips it in the bud, because it's reversible at that point. But once it's already anchored in, then it's hard for the body to reverse it. So that's what I'm waiting for. I'm in the reflection room in the hospital. It was a little too chilly to sit outside, and it started to drizzle lightly. So it's amazing. It's a massive lesson in deepening my self-care, because I have such little reserves right now. I can sustain a steady pace, but I don't have the extra. So really where it's hitting me is dehydration. Some of you have seen I carry a large copper water bottle. I can't show you because my phone is leaning against it, but I have a large copper water bottle. I've had 2 in fact, and I'm being more diligent in having 2 to 3 of those a day, and my coconut water, and from my naturopathic oncologist I have a calcium magnesium drink powder that I add water to, so I'm doing that twice a day opposed to once. And when I have the girls, I'm not drinking enough, and yesterday I had 2 appointments opposed to 1, and I didn't drink enough. And today it leaves me lightheaded, ungrounded, emotional, really teary. So I'm learning what its symptoms are, how it shows up before the hydration really wipes me out. So last week, week and a half ago, it was 2 weeks ago, I woke up and I was more dehydrated than today, and in fact I couldn't function. I needed to call some friends in to get the girls ready for school, and then a dear friend of mine brought me to the hospital to be on a drip, which, it's again a practice in loving kindness to myself. Being a body worker, I was like, how did this happen? Right? And then the other half of me is like, it's okay, my love. You've got a new norm that you're recalibrating to and having to learn what it is. And it's not only finding this dance in what my new norm is, but also really allowing for that loving self-talk and trying to recondition the pattern of, you should have known better. How on earth did you let yourself get to this place? It's I want to expand the capacity to love myself, and to allow that love to extend out to people, especially those who are being difficult. There's always one person who's there to be one of your teachers. And I have that person right now, and it's incredibly uncomfortable. and I'm learning to hold it lightly, what is being asked of me. I know, in addition to this cancer journey, this relationship with this other person is here to teach me something and help bring something to the light. And of course, I and this other person want to have it be resolved right now. But life doesn't happen like that. It takes time. And there is a divine unfolding in it all. And it's not always on our timing. So, dear ones, be patient with yourself and try to be loving to yourself. And with the energies and the eclipses and everything that's going on now, it goes a long way. I'm trying to choose a mindset to support the reality I want to manifest in the world. And yes, I'm allowing myself to emote, to cry when I need to, without the presence of the girls, and try to hold the space for them when they're having a tough time. One of my daughters is having a really tough time. And I'm trying to hold the space for love and compassion for her as well, and to acknowledge, yeah, life can be tough. And you're going through a really tough phase right now, and I'm sorry for that. But I'm also noticing my bandwidth is stretched. And I'm not always as patient with my two as I would like to be. And again, finding that compassion for myself of like, okay, acknowledge it to the girls whenever appropriate and necessary, that was a little of a too strong a reaction, and I'm sorry. And also when it's validated and said, no, I've asked you to do something 4 times or 3 times. I can get angry right now because you're not listening. Sending you all so much love. The other thing in closing, I'll just share with you, when you're on that radiation, it's like a lounger, but it's so not a lounger. It's hard and plastic, and it has ridges that you have to sit in. And because it's the breast area, I have to lie there with my arms back, of course topless, feeling fully exposed. The staff are wonderful, really lovely. But still, it's an incredibly vulnerable spot to be in. And you have a little screen that you look at, and it has a blue line at the bottom, and there has a green square up top. And as you breathe in, there's a yellow line that comes just below the blue line, and it comes up. And as you breathe in, it travels up, and you want to bring it to that green square. And you want to retain your breath and hold it there until they request that you exhale. So the reason being is that we take a full breath in, not only to expand the lungs and protect the lungs from the radiation, but it also moves the heart also to the side to minimize radiation effect. So thank goodness I have my pranayama, my yoga breath work. And the first time when they were setting me up as a trial, they didn't realize. I think the intern was like, she's not breathing. And the doctor was like, well, actually, she is. But she's breathing so steadily and deeply that it's not what you're normally used to seeing in patients. So that was a bit of a tickle. when she was telling me the story the other day, I was actually just having an internal hissy fit, so I didn't find it so comical, but that's how it is. But throughout, with my MRIs, with my biopsies, I had an MRI biopsy as well, in which I had to stay in the beginning, this is, in September, November, where I had to stay incredibly still for about 45 minutes as they brought me back and forth, having the MRI tests and coming back and then having the biopsy and needing the grid to be aligned. And I couldn't have done it without my breath work. I remember speaking to the nurse after the fact, because they nicked a blood vessel, which apparently is not uncommon in MRI, because it's a very tricky biopsy to do. And they're not large blood vessels in the breast, but I was bleeding out for a bit. So I had a nurse up close and personal with one hand on my boob to apply pressure to stop the bleeding. So we were chatting. And I asked, how does, I have my yoga background, I have my breath work. How does the average person do this? So much is being asked of you to lay still. And she said, some people need to be sedated, have a anti-anxiety tablet from the doctor prior to MRI. Some need to be wheeled in unconscious. So hearing the various ways in which people are taken care of during their MRIs amplified my gratitude for my breath work and my pranayama, and the knowledge that I have within me to self-care, to self-monitor, to be able to remain calm and stay in the moment. So I hope to soon post a video of a breath work, a pranayama breath work, to share with you when you find yourself in moments of anxiety and stress. And if my voice and my tempo resonates, use it, share it with friends who you know would benefit or you feel would benefit, and I'll post that soon. Oh, and look, I'm getting hair. It's baby soft. You would think it was stubbly, but it's new hair. It's baby soft. It's quite comforting, actually, feeling this softness. But I've got a hat for the summer, straw hat, one in the car and one at home. And I've got my thinner hats to keep my head warm. All right, my loves. This is it for now. As ever, thank you so much for your continued support on GoFundMe. I thought the radiation would start May 1st and be done by June, and I could start a part-time job, but it's all taking a little longer. So I'm practicing greater surrender and self-care and self-love. And with that love, I extend it out to you. Thank you so much. All right. Bye-bye.